David Menzies for Rebel News here in Richmond Hill, Ontario, and I'm near the corner of Major Mackenzie Drive and Leslie Street, literally the scene of the crime. More on that later. But you see, liquor theft, that's a really big deal in Ontario right now. Thieves are increasingly boldened. They're going into liquor stores and cleaning out the shelves and walking out in broad daylight without even wearing disguises. Do you remember what happened more than a week ago in Kitchener? Check it out.
Hey guys, you're on live TV, eh? You're on live TV.
Unbelievable. Now, the haul that day in Kitchener was approximately $8,000 worth of product. But I got to tell you, folks, those thieves were amateurs compared to the guys that came by this store in Richmond Hill recently. You see, an LCBO insider tipped me off that this store, in one day, with one band of thieves, was robbed of more than $120,000 worth of product. I'm still not sure if that's the retail value or the wholesale value. And it is absolutely incredible. Whoever was closing the store that day, well, they forgot to lock that door. And wouldn't you know it, folks, by coincidence, a band of thieves showed up in the wee hours, went directly to the back door, didn't even need a crowbar to get in, and suddenly they had a shopping spree in which they carted off more than $120,000 of liquor. Incredible. Now, I did reach out to the press office of the LCBO. I had 7 questions, and here's what I sent to them via email. 1, what was the result of your investigation? 2, were the police called? If so, did the police launch an investigation? 3, there is speculation that this was an inside job involving a staff member. Is this the case? 4, did the store's security cameras capture the theft? 5, was this incident publicized by the LCBO? If not, why not, given that Ontarians are in effect shareholders of the LCBO? 6, again, when it comes to overall theft numbers, what is the annual amount? We have seen figures ranging from $6 million a year to $77 million a year. And finally, 7, of the theft occurring at LCBO stores, what percentage is internal theft? And you know, shockers, folks, even though the booze bureaucracy employs an entire media relations staff, they don't relate to the media, at least not those media outlets asking pesky and sensitive questions. So it has been radio silence. That is despicable. Again, they are working for the taxpayer. Well, presumably. Well, folks, Jeffrey was just passing by. He spotted us. He recognized us. And I asked him if he'd come on camera. And Jeffrey, as I explained to you off camera, since you live in Ontario, you're an Ontarian, you are a stakeholder in this Crown Corporation. Do you think the LCBO is taking theft seriously?
No, I don't at all. Between the stories like this, the people that I meet in person, the people I know personally, and what I see online is that you can come in here, take what you want, you can do it to other stores, and then when you leave, it's a slap on the wrist, and it says, try not to do it again at your best.
You know, that is the thing. I think that's why the thieves are so brazen. They know even if they get caught, they're going to be released later that day, and even later that day, they'll hit another liquor store. I think, Jeffrey, my theory is that because this is a government-run monopoly, the government doesn't care because it's not their money. It's not like a private entrepreneur getting robbed blind. It's the taxpayer that has to pay, first with the shrinkage, and then, heck, if it really gets out of control, we'll just mark up the bottles by another 10%.
That's right, and we'll pay for it. You're seeing all the beer stores closing down, right? They're not through the same entity. Anything that runs through the government, there's nothing backing the dollar anyway. It's all fiat. So if they lose anything, they print something more. And then they'll put it on the consumer, which is us. We're always the consumer. We're the ones that lose. We're the ones that pay it out of our butt. And we work an extra hour a day to make a little less.
Oh, and by the way, if you pay the LCBO a house call, if you go downtown to their palatial office on Queen's Quay and try to get answers to questions, well, the people there quite literally flip you the bird. Do you remember what happened to cameraman Lincoln J and I when we went several days ago to the LCBO's head office? Oh, check this one out. I'm at LCBO headquarters. We're paying a house call because when you reach out to them via their media relations line,
Hello.
Hey. Oh, yeah, okay. Wow, there she goes, Miss America. Ooh, that wasn't very ladylike. But bottom line, folks, the LCBO is not only suffering from theft by shoplifters and, for that matter, organized criminal bandits, but they also have an internal theft problem too. This Richmond Hill store is an example of that. And why doesn't the LCBO seem to give a rodent's rectum? Well, I'll tell you why. This is a government-run Crown Corporation liquor monopoly. They don't care about the bottles going out the door because it's not their money, it's our money. If you're an Ontarian, you have skin in the game when it comes to the liquor store network in Ontario. So basically, the LCBO, since it's not a loss they're suffering from, they just shrug their shoulders. And besides, if it really gets out of control, well, we'll just mark up the product 5, 10, 15%, because you know what? When you're an abusive monopoly, that's what you can do. Enough of this nonsense. If the LCBO is too incompetent to enact measures to stop theft that is out of control, it needs to be privatized. Premier Doug Ford, I thought you were all about independent business. Why don't you stop talking about that and do something about it when it comes to this bloated booze bureaucracy? For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. You know, folks, government does have a role when it comes to the sale of alcohol, and that is to regulate it and tax it. It's not to retail the stuff. It's not to warehouse the stuff. Government, know your role. And if you feel like we do, folks, please go to sellthelcbo.com. That's sellthelcbo.com. Put your name on our petition. Obviously, they're too incompetent to stop theft, or they simply don't care. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.